Do you guys remember those Genesis commercials?
What Nintendo don't.
Sega does what Nintendo don't. What a slogan. And it's a slogan that worked. We still talk about those commercials to this day. Talk about a successful advertisement. Back in the day, it was all about the specs. First, it was Sega's got 16 bits. How many bits does your crappy NES have? What, 8? Then the Super Nintendo came out. Well, damn, now they both got 16 bits. Sega, what do you have to say for yourself?
The Sega Genesis has blast processing. Super Nintendo doesn't. So what's blast processing do?
Damn, okay, you guys got blast processing. It's like a rap battle of consoles. Of course, things aren't always what they seem. Now we know that Sega found the one thing the Genesis was better at, which was its processor. The Super Nintendo beat it in literally every other category. Point being, technology was advancing, and the deciding factor behind which console you were gonna buy was what was inside the machine. It's honestly really funny to think that back in the day, Nintendo had some of the most powerful hardware money could buy. The N64 was more powerful than the PlayStation 1. You got Final Fantasy VII over here looking like Polygon Generator. I mean, Jesus, look at Cloud. Oh my god. Then look over here at Ocarina of Time, and you can actually see the shape of a human. Even the GameCube was stronger than the PlayStation 2 from a technological standpoint. Is Nintendo really known for what's inside their consoles nowadays though? Hell no. Ever since the Wii, Nintendo's been falling behind their competitors more and more when it came to hardware. Nintendo was much too concerned with making you look like a complete asshole when you were playing Skyward Sword. But, as we all know, maybe looking like assholes was a pro gamer move because the Wii ended up being a massive success. Nintendo may have even had a little too much success, to the point that I don't really think Nintendo thought through their next move. Enter the Wii U, an underpowered console that was a bit more powerful than the PS3 and Xbox 360. Its release just seemed too rushed. They were clearly trying to capitalize on the success of the Wii, but didn't take enough time to think about the specs of the console or what they were even trying to accomplish with the Wii U. Then the PS4 and Xbox One came out and it was like, oh my god, better graphics, better processor, better storage space, better everything. I mean, with the Wii U, for God's sake, the OS update took up half the console's storage space. Then you got the Wii U over here priced at $349, the version you wanted to buy because of the OS update. Meanwhile, the PS4 is priced at $399. It's only $50 more for a insanely better experience. So just like that, Nintendo's dying over here, just barely surviving off the Nintendo 3DS's sales, just eating its crumbs, and absolutely losing out to the PS4 and Xbox One when it came to the household console market. So why exactly did the Wii U fail? Was it because it was underpowered? Not necessarily. Does the fault lie with its games? No, at least in my opinion. A lot of the games on the Wii U were actually pretty solid. I think the main reason the Wii U failed was that it had no sense of identity. The Wii U was like Jackie Chan in that one movie, Who Am I? Was the Wii U an upgrade to the Wii, or was it a hybrid console that you could take anywhere? No one knew. Hell, I don't even think Nintendo knew. Thankfully though, Nintendo would answer all these questions and more with the Nintendo Switch. In March of 2017, Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo took all the mistakes they had made with the Wii U, learned from them, and put one of the best consoles they've had in decades. Even if the Switch is still not as much of a powerhouse as the PS4 or Xbox One, Nintendo knew exactly what they wanted the Switch to be. You were going to be able to play classic Nintendo games on the go, and the console was still able to play third-party games like Skyrim from literally anywhere. Third-party support for Nintendo wasn't just a pipe dream anymore like it was with the Wii U, mainly because, well, developers actually have an audience to develop games for, and developers don't gotta be looking at the Wii U gamepad like, oh my god, what do I put on this thing? What do I put on the TV screen? How do I make them seamless? So the Switch really has got the best of both worlds. I've heard from so many people that the Switch reinvigorated their love for gaming. People simply don't have the time anymore to sit on a couch, grab some chips, and enjoy playing through a game start to finish. And that's why having a console that is so easy to take with you and enjoy on bus rides, during your lunch break, or whenever you have just a little bit of free time is ingenious. I may hate Nintendo as a corporation, but I've said it once and I'll say it again, I love them when it comes to delivering good quality games to its audience. They really do know that having fun is the #1 aspect when it comes to making any video game. And I feel like a lot of their competitors have forgotten such a simple concept. So many developers get lost in making this game with next-gen graphics, with painstaking detail, or making the next looter slasher. God, look at how well that turned out. Just trying to reinvent the wheel when really all that matters at the end of the day is the game fun?
If it's not fun, why bother?
Part of the reason I think Nintendo is able to realize this is that they literally can't make games that are technical marvels. Their consoles are just too underpowered. But because of that, they're able to focus on what truly makes a game special, which is how you feel when playing it. But every console has a lifespan, and with the Switch first releasing back in March of 2017, this marks the console's 4th year of being on the market. And now with the PS5 and Xbox Series X's release, people are looking at Nintendo to see what their next move might be. But I think Nintendo's in a bit of a tricky spot here. Let me explain. Nintendo has been doing a phenomenal job with the Switch. It's one of their best-selling consoles of all time, ranking number 8 on the top 10 best-selling consoles of all time. The Wii is ranked at number 4 in that same list. Then again though, the Switch has only been out for a couple of years. Give it some time and it may just overtake that spot. If we look at the sales in the first 60 days of the Wii and the Switch's release, we can see that the Switch is already outpacing the Wii in that time frame. Point being, the Switch is just as successful as the Wii, which was one of the best-selling consoles of all time. Does it make sense for Nintendo to make a Pro version when the Switch has been such a smash hit? Personally, I'd say yes, as much as I hate to admit it. When you have Sony and Xbox releasing these powerful new consoles, and yes, I admit that Nintendo's not in direct competition with Sony and Xbox anymore, I still think that Nintendo needs to answer with something here. Give the PS5 and the Xbox Series X enough time to get their feet off the ground and get some launch titles, and Nintendo might be in a spot of trouble. But there are some cons to making a Pro version of the Switch. Firstly, you'd be alienating the people who recently bought the Nintendo Switch or already own one, especially when considering that it's rumored that a Pro version will have its own console exclusives. But, I mean, that only makes sense, right? If you're going to have more powerful hardware, you might as well put it to use, rather than solely focusing on making Switch games run better. So, do they go ahead and make the Pro version powerful enough to where the original Switch won't be able to run some of its games? But then you'd be making the Switch obsolete in comparison, and I definitely think owners of the original Switch, like myself, would get screwed over here. I'd be pissed off. It's only been 4 years since the console's release after all. A Pro version might be warranted at this point, but console exclusives on a Switch Pro may be going just a little too far. The PS4 Pro didn't have any console exclusives, it just ran the games better. A lot of the reason people are talking about this right now is because of the Pokemon Legends Arceus trailer. Just look at how this runs. I'm not even gonna say anything, I mean, just... So maybe a Pro version would help clear up some of those performance issues. Then again though, you don't want to have a Switch version that runs like absolute ass, and then a Pro version that runs perfectly, and just take the stance of, well, if you want to play Pokemon, then just buy the new console, you Nintendo idiots. That's pulling some Cyberpunk 2077 type shit, and trust me, we all know how badly that went down. So how powerful should this Switch Pro version be exactly? Some rumors indicate that the Switch Pro will be able to handle a 4K resolution while docked. Breath of the Wild in 4K? Whoo boy, sign me up. According to the rumors though, it is confirmed that the Switch Pro will have games that the Switch can't play. The caveat to this is that these exclusives will be few and far between. Not only that, the exclusives on the Switch Pro will mainly be from third-party developers. Nintendo's first-party titles will still be cross-platform. So I think original Switch owners, like myself, can rest easy. And if the rumors turn out to be true, I think Nintendo's making a pretty decent approach here. They're not alienating the people who own a Switch, but also have an answer to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. It's the perfect middle ground to have. The specs of the Switch Pro seem to be a okay upgrade if the rumors turn out to be true. A 720p OLED screen, 4K capabilities when docked, and oh god, 64 gigabytes of SSD storage? Oof. Well, outside of that, I think it would definitely bring the Switch Pro closer to the powerhouses that are the PS5 and Xbox One X. Still, I think it's safe to say the Switch Pro will still be significantly weaker than both of the next-gen consoles, and that's a bit of a shame. Again though, Nintendo's proven that it doesn't have to be the most powerful console on the market to deliver quality games. Sure, Nintendo games may never have the ray tracing that Spider-Man on PS5 has, or an 8K resolution that an Xbox Series X can output. And those things do make for a better gaming experience. But all in all, what matters is how much you yourself enjoy the game. Screw all the bells and whistles. Why are indie games in such high standing nowadays, after all? Personally, I can't wait for what Nintendo's future has in store for us. Just start releasing more legacy content, Nintendo, you stupid bastards. Well, now that you guys have heard my piece, it's time to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys think it's time for a Switch Pro to be released, or is it too soon? Would you feel cheated if you bought the Nintendo Switch recently? Leave it down in the comments below, guys, and as always, like, subscribe, ring-a-ding that bell, and I'll see you all in the next video.